Hi friends, my name is Sophia. Welcome to another video. If you have already subscribed my channel, don't forget to press the bell icon for new updates. And if you have not subscribed yet, do subscribe for more informative videos. So don't you go anywhere because this video is very important. You will definitely get a lot from here. So very quickly, let's get started. In this video, we are going to learn about figures of speech or literary devices. Poets, writers and dramatists use literary devices to make their work more beautiful, interesting and attractive. By using different figures of speech such as simile, metaphor, onomatopoeia, personification and many other, they create a vivid rhetorical effect and flowery language. So watch the video till end so that you can learn about all these literary devices or figures of speech. We are discussing about different figures of speech. So what are figures of speech? Let's discover and have a look at the definition. A figure of speech is a phrase or a word having different meaning than its literal meaning. Figures of speech increase the effectiveness of words and create a language which we do not use commonly in our routine life. Here we have different figures of speech which we are going to discuss today. They are simile, metaphor, personification, irony, pun, hyperbole, oxymoron, antithesis, interrogation, exclamation, climax, anticlimax or bathos. Let's begin with simile. A simile is a figure of speech that compares two different things in an interesting way. A simile uses the words like or as to draw a comparison. It's important to note that simile uses two words as or like to compare two unlike things. Let's look at the example to understand it. The first example is he is as busy as a bee. Now, for example, if you see a person who is very busy, you can easily compare him with the bee because they both are busy. And this is the similarity among between them. The next example is I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. Now, in this example, loneliness is the similarity between the two. And in the third example, I have written this example using like. In the first example, you have seen that I used the word as, and in the second example, I used like. Here we have metaphor. A metaphor is a technique of comparison like simile. But in the metaphor, we do not use the words as or like for comparison. A metaphor, in fact, refers to words or expressions that mean something different from their literal definition. Shakespeare said that all the world is a stage. And here he wants to compare the world with a stage where all of us are actors playing our own particular role. Personification is another figure of speech. Personification gives human qualities to non human things. Let's look at the definition. Personification gives human traits and qualities such as emotion, desires, sensations, gestures, and speech to a non living thing. Personification occurs when a writer or a poet makes a non human thing have human behavior. Let's look at the examples. My alarm clock yells at me to get out of bed every morning. Now, yelling is the quality which a human is supposed to have. The next example is the moon smiled at the stars in the sky. Now, smiling again is the human quality. Here we have another figure of speech, and that is irony. Irony, in fact, is the use of word which expresses something opposite of the literal meaning. Irony is used to create a contrast between how things seem and how they really are beneath the surface. Over here, we are going to discuss the two types of irony, the verbal irony and situational irony. Verbal irony. Verbal irony is another figure of speech if a person says the opposite of what he actually means. That is the perfect example of irony. For example, if the situation is very poor, but you say that, wow, well done, fantastic. So it means that you are using a figure of speech, verbal irony. Type 2 Situational irony. Situational irony is a literary device that you can easily identify in literary works. It occurs when something entirely different happens from what audience may be expecting, or the final outcome is opposite to what the audience is expecting. Situational irony generally includes sharp contrasts and contradictions. And the purpose of ironic situation is to allow the readers to make a distinction between appearances and realities and eventually associate them to the theme of a story. Let's have a look at the example from Oedipus Rex. Oedipus was abandoned by his parents due to a prophecy. But what happens? He actually does the same what was already predicted. He actually kills his father and marries his mother, and he does not realize until it is too late. Pun is another figure of speech, and it is a clever, witty form of figurative language which uses the words within a sentence to convey another meaning. The pun is often used in the form of a joke where words can have more than one meaning or words can sound like they mean something else. For example, let's have a look at the given example. A bicycle can't stand on its own because it is too tied. Now, too tied can be taken having two different meanings. You are under arrest. Now, this word again have two different meanings. Like you are supposed to take rest or you are under arrest. You are not free. Here we have hyperbole. Hyperbole is another figure of speech. Hyperbole creates exaggerated statements. And it is important to note that hyperbole is not meant to be taken literally. The audience knows it's an exaggeration. Let's have a look at the examples. She is going to die of embarrassment. Now, this is the exaggeration that how can somebody die because of embarrassment? And then over here we have another example from novel Heart of Darkness. I had to wait in the situation for 10 days, an eternity. Now, 10 days definitely can't be an eternity. Oxymoron is another figure of speech. Oxymoron uses words that seem to contradict each other. Sometimes the writers and the poets use oxymoron to create a little bit of drama for the readers, and sometimes they use to make a person stop and think, whether that's to laugh or to wonder. Let's have a look at the examples. The first example is clearly misunderstood. So, if something is clear, that cannot be misunderstood. The second example is act naturally. So, how can you be natural if you are acting? Pretty ugly. If somebody is pretty, he or she can't be ugly. Found missing. Again, the both of these words are opposite to each other. And seriously funny. Again, we have the example where we get two opposite words together. And this is all these are the perfect examples of oxymoron. Let's discuss another figure of speech, antithesis. Antithesis means opposites, and it is used as a literary device to put two contrasting ideas together. Let's take a look at the examples. Love is the antithesis of selfishness. Man proposes, God disposes. In these examples, two contrasting ideas are given together. Interrogation is another figure of speech. Interrogation asks a question, but the purpose of that question is not to get a reply, but just to create a dramatic effect. Let's look at the examples. Am I my brother's keeper? And the second example is, who is here so vile that will not love his country? Exclamation. An exclamatory sentence makes a statement that conveys strong emotion or excitement. When ideas or words express strong emotions such as joy, surprise, and anger, it is known as exclamation. And it is important to note that words or sentences end in an exclamation mark in this type of figure of speech. Let's look at the example. I got the concert tickets. And the exclamatory mark at the end of this sentence shows the strong emotion, feelings of happiness. John, don't touch that. And the exclamatory mark at the end shows that the person, the speaker, is very much angry. Here we have climax. Climax is a Greek term and it means ladder. It's that particular point in a narrative at which the conflict or tension hits the highest point. As on a ladder, we move down to up. In this figure of speech, words are arranged in ascending order. Let's look at the example. There are three things that will endure: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Love is most important and it comes at the end. So this is how the words are arranged in ascending order. Let's discuss another figure of speech, anticlimax or bathos. Anticlimax is a figure of speech in which statements gradually descend in order of importance. And it's important to note that anticlimax is actually the opposite of climax. So, unlike climax, anticlimax is the arrangement of a series of words, phrases, or clauses in order of decreasing importance. Let's have a look at the examples. He lost his family, his car, and his cell phone. Now, if we look at this example, somebody's family is most important in somebody's life. And the cell has the least importance in somebody's life. Like if we lose our cell phone, that doesn't matter much for us. Let's look at the second example. I die, I faint, I fall. If we study both these examples carefully, we will get to know that all the words in these examples are arranged in order of decreasing importance. I have used all the illustrations so that we can understand in a better way. So look at each illustration carefully so that they can help enhance your learning. So guys, this was all for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button below. Do comment and tell me if you want me to make more videos. If you like my videos, I would really love it. And please do tell me if you want me to help you in your desired topic. If you want me to translate some literary work in your desired language, I will be there for you guys. Take care of yourself and stay connected with Literary In for amazing content. See you soon.